1.2. The Industrial Revolution. In this section, we'll look at how Britain became the first industrial nation, how factories and steam power reshaped work and life, and why the Industrial Revolution brought both progress and deep social change. The Industrial Revolution began in Britain between the mid-18th century and 1850. By then, the country had already moved through centuries of gradual change that prepared the way. By 1850, Britain stood as a fully industrial state, powered by machinery and steam. The heart of the revolution lay in production. Small workshops and the old putting-out system gave way to large factories. In these new workplaces, industrial capitalists built and owned both the buildings and the machines inside them. Workers owned only their labor, which they sold for wages. The capitalists decided who was hired, who was dismissed, and how the factory was run. For owners, the system was efficient and profitable. For Britain, it meant cheap mass production on a scale never seen before. Machines grew larger, more complex, and more costly. They now required not just skilled craftsmen, but wealthy industrialists who could invest in factories. To power these machines, Britain turned to steam. Early steam engines, first built around 1705, could only pump water. But James Watt's improvements in the 1780s created engines powerful and efficient enough to run machinery. By the 1830s, steam had also taken to the rails. The opening of the Liverpool and Manchester Railway in 1830 showed how locomotives could move both people and goods quickly. By mid-century, railways connected Britain's major cities. The effects spread far beyond factories. Mass production created a new problem, not scarcity, but overproduction. When workers were too poor to buy what they made, markets faltered and economic depressions followed. Agriculture's role shrank, but productivity in farming still rose, feeding growing towns with fewer workers. Science added new tools like fertilizers and pesticides, further boosting yields. Urbanization accelerated. More food supported more people, and industries provided jobs. Populations in Britain and other industrial nations surged despite harsh living and working conditions. Out of this came a new class system. The industrial bourgeoisie, the business owners, joined bankers, merchants, and professionals in growing wealth and influence, overtaking the old nobility. At the same time, a much larger industrial working class, the proletariat, took shape. Concentrated in factories and cities, workers became more aware of their common interests. Many supported socialist ideas and political movements, alarming governments and elites. The Industrial Revolution also shifted global power. Western nations applied their new industries, technologies, and sciences to build stronger armies and navies. Their advantage over non-Western states widened, making military intervention easier. Western economies now looked abroad for raw materials and markets, binding distant regions into a single capitalist world economy. Steamships, railways, and the telegraph tied countries together faster than ever before. By the late 19th century, these forces fueled imperialism as Western powers expanded their colonies and spheres of influence. The Industrial Revolution marked a turning point in human history. It created new wealth, reshaped classes, spurred science and technology, and redrew global connections. Above all, it set in motion a pace of change so rapid that, from then on, change itself became the constant feature of modern life.